So, I want to talk about a book I read, but not read because I got the audiobook, called Revelation Space. It's a science fiction book written by Alistair Reynolds. I must admit, this is really the first hardcore science fiction book I read. And then I went on to read some Peter F. Hamilton stuff, which I must admit I didn't find quite as interesting. But I think perhaps that's because I personally enjoy the level of detail that the Revelations books go into. They go into enormous detail on the world that the story is set in, and lots of detail about all the kinds of crazy things that are going on. Now, this is basically why the spoilers, or the spoiler-free stuff ends. Beyond this point, massive spoilers. If you don't want to know about things that happen in Revelation Space, and probably other books as well, preceding it, stop now. Just stop now. Leave. Close it. I'm even going to leave a big space here with big warning. Leave. Okay. So basically, this is just why I love the Revelation Space books, and on top of that, what I found most enjoyable about the books, what I think the concepts in the book that gave me far more enjoyment than they probably should. So the first thing that instantly struck me as okay, something's going to go on here, was the fact that one of the main characters, Sylvester, Dan Sylvester, I think it is an archaeologist. Now, in science fiction, archaeologists are just like magnets for trouble. They just bring trouble from whatever direction they have and just find a way to cause trouble. This is actually a sort of trope, in fact, when it comes to science fiction. So I believe in the original Doctor Who series, before the remake in 2000 whatever, it was a archaeologist that woke up the Cybermen, because they'd been entombed in somewhere, and then he came along with like, oh, I'm going to dig it up, it'll be great, I'll be famous. And actually, you released a mechanical horde of machines that kill people and convert them. And it was the same, I believe, with Doom, both the Doom movie and the actual games, especially Doom 3, because Doom 3 was all about, oh, let's dig this old stuff up on Mars, and then bad stuff happened. And the same with Dead Space. Archaeological dig on some planet, found the thing that released all the doodads, and shit just got real. So it is very much a trope, in my opinion, that archaeologists, bad news. And this book opens with an archaeologist digging on a planet that's a long way from Earth. I forget which star system it's in, I must admit. It's a long way from Earth, and they're looking for evidence, or further evidence, of a extinct race, alien race. So that was the first hint that something was going to happen. Something bad was going to happen, along the lines of aforementioned Doctor Who, Dead Space, and all these. But this actually brings me to an interesting point as to why archaeologists in science fiction are so dangerous, generally speaking. And the interesting reason is because just curiosity, just human curiosity, causes them to naturally be the most dangerous type of people in science fiction. I wouldn't be surprised that when we get to the science fiction space travel type of in real life, that the archaeologists are sort of they have to be licensed. They're strictly controlled. You cannot just go out and be an instant archaeologist, because that is quite dangerous given all the science fiction and given the universe of infinite possibilities and all that. Because archaeologists are just particularly curious humans, in this universe, it actually makes them, in the Revelation Space universe, it actually makes them the most dangerous type of human. Because unknown at this point within the story, and this is where massive spoilers happen, so if you have not stopped listening now, stop. Just stop it. Leave. unknown to the people, the human race, in the story at this point, at the very beginning, where we just learn that Dan is an archaeologist, is that there are machines spread throughout the galaxy, our galaxy, the Milky Way, that are built and designed to find and stop sentient space traveling races. Specifically space traveling races. They don't really mind about ones that haven't spread into space, just the ones that are in space. And the reasoning behind that is interesting. I'll get to that in a little bit. Now, going back to why are archaeologists so dangerous, given the fact that there are machines that are out there that try to wipe out spacefaring races, why are archaeologists, and just humans in general, so dangerous? Well, the answer is because there are traps. The way that the machines discover spacefaring races is that they have put traps everywhere. And what could possibly be the best type of trap to pick up and detect space traveling sentient races? Well, it's interesting because in the book, the creators of the of these machines, and also Alistair Rounds, evidently, thought that curiosity is by far the most dangerous lure a race can have in terms of racial abilities, or racial, what do you want to call it, racial aspects. And this is absolutely true. I would argue, in fact, and would believe the fact that I would find it, even playing devil's advocate, I can't quite find a way to make this not true. I believe that the reason is that any race, any species that has reached the intelligence level to be able to question why to anything, basically, is just going to be by nature a curious race. And in order for them to go why, and then, or rather, so in order for a race to have built spaceships to leave a planet, which, you know, even on our current technology level with the space shuttles and all that, it's still quite tricky. It's not easy by any standards. A space mission still costs millions of pounds, dollars, whatever, per mission. And the result is that once a race has developed enough technology in order to travel into space, they must be curious, because why would you leave your planet if there's no reason to do that? And in fact, even if they don't want to leave their planet, for curiosity's sake, and they've had to do it because there's a looming natural disaster or something like that, they still had to have had enough curiosity to build all the stuff in order to actually leave the planet. So there is some level of curiosity there, even if they've actively decided, nope, we could leave, but we're staying until we have to. So what Alistair Reynolds does, and what the machine creators did, is they set traps. What are those traps? The traps are simply things that are obviously made. Things that shouldn't exist unless there was previously someone to build it. And so obvious as well. Which is by far the biggest lure I could come up with, to be honest. I can't think of a bigger lure. Something that so obviously shouldn't be there that you go there and look at it. And then that's the trigger, basically. You go there, you do stuff, and then, oh, that triggers it, and off you go. So now, you're shafted. The alien race, the alien machines know you're there. I must admit, obviously, this is a spoiler for right at the end of the book, essentially, where they just trigger that. I need to read the book again, I must admit, because it's been a while. And yeah, I just find that amazing that the biggest trap that you could set, the most alluring trap you could set, is something that I myself would have to go examine. If I was in Dan Sylvest's position, I would totally be like, yep, there's this big mechanical planet that's obviously made undeniably so. Yep, let's go. Off we go. I can't possibly see what could go wrong, except for knowing the fact that at least one alien race has been extinct, or been made to be extinct by something.